The knife round is about to begin, so let's head on to Cash for the final map of the Spring 2016 season UK Premiership. And in fact, we're not going back into the map just yet. A little bit of an issue going on with that one. As there we go, we're onto the map finally. And here we go. Game 3 is underway. It's the working men up against Reason Gaming, each of them with a map in the bag. And it's all going to be down to this. The knife looking like it's going the way of Reason to kick things off. And I mean, on this map, which side would you say really has an advantage, if either of them?
Obviously, this is number one where it's kind of fairly even, but that CT side 9 times out of 10 is where people want to start, just to get it out of the way, usually, just sort of get your CT side done. T side is where you're going to see a lot of explosive play, especially from the working men. Obviously, that mixed environment there allows for a little bit more flamboyant, much like W is being right now. Apparently, already got TK. He's going in for the 3K. He can decide the sides. There you go. Unfortunate stuff there.
Dudley making the plays. AFK to start the knife round, and then comes in. And 1v3s, what a baller. But that does mean that the working men are going to stay on that CT side after Dudley manages to take that knife round for his team. So we'll see. And Dudley actually, I think, just going to be restarting his client on this one just to get back into the map. So he should be back with us very shortly. There he is, back onto the server. So the game should be kicking off sooner rather than later, hopefully. And we'll be able to get things underway, because this is a final that has been long awaited, and with a couple of delays during that second map, I'm sure these players want to just get started, just want to get this game underway and see how this is going to pan out. I can't wait to see some of the plays coming out from these guys heading on into this one. And Reason on that terrorist side, it's down to them to set the pace of this game and really work out how they want to take this map.
Yeah, something that's great as well is this map is very good for quite a few of the individual players we see here, especially for Dudley when he's on that CT side. He is a ridiculously organic AWP that you're going to be seeing whipping out all these crazy off angles time and time again, going for these overly aggressive peaks once he has that AWP in his hands, and especially for Weber as well. Weber is very versatile on a map like Cash. We've seen it a lot where he can just explode around the map. And obviously in that standing role as well, he's going to fit in quite nicely on Cash. I know you won't have that much time sort of with Reason. It was only the final week of the Prem and now. So practice-wise, could be a little bit iffy on this map, but they should have a lot of stuff down. So let's see how it's going to go. Jumping straight into it, the pistol round here. Look at this aggression as well. This is what we wanted to see, the working men bringing their pain early. They've kicked it into 5th gear and they're pushing in, but are they aware of the positioning of Connor? Lying in this elevated angle, they will begin to hammer down. Actually gets the first frag, but Dudley does trade it back, brings it into a 1 versus 1. Sorry, a 4 versus 4 there after he got that opening frag, and see how they can continue this out.
We'll see if they can turn this into anything more. 4 versus 4 is the scores on the doors right now, as Reason can't quite connect his shots, but Robin arriving on the scene will finish off both them, and now it's just Reason and Weber remaining to take this site. Not managed to get the bomb down just yet, and Robin is going to be able to hold on to the situation. The shots won't land though from Weber, can't quite finish off his target. Finally gets Jacob, and does have that bomb to work with. He can go for a rotation if he so wishes, and I think that will be the call. T-Sac already well on his way towards that B site, but T-Sac incredibly low. This actually looks very doable for Weber. If he can find T-Sac on his own to start this off, he will find a 1 versus 1, which is a world that Weber is an expert at.
Yes, he is. That's very true indeed. A wealth of experience here, but unfortunately for him, the other man on the server that definitely can is Robin. He sniffed him out and took him down.
He certainly did. Robin with a very keen nose. Going to be able to make something happen for his team. And now that it means that the working men have got the advantage. They're going to go into this second round with some decent weaponry to make things happen. And take a look at the amount of deagles and armor that's come out from Reason. They are not going down without fight. They're going to look to, at very least, damage the economy. But if not, take this round from the working men. And we've seen this strategy come out so many times across the course of today. Trying to get this second round and trying to make this a full-on scrap.
elevated angle here for Batham as well. Deagle in hand, these weapons obviously going to be very useful from distance. And Reason are actually one of these sides that are quite scary, even when they are on their ecos. They definitely can pack a punch. Switching out these weapons as well, going out towards Keita as he doesn't damage Batham. White Load with just 7 HP remaining, gets him back up on top of boost. And now things begin to fall into a little bit of a lull.
Yeah, absolutely. And just can't say I'm not surprised that Reason are taking this one a little bit slower with only those pistols to work, but they can't really just take any fight that they want. And Robin starting things off for the working men. And look at the health bars right now for Reason. They're all going to slowly but surely start to fall. 7 HP on 2 members. Reason the only one that's healthy, but Jacob shuts him out of the map. And now just 14 health between them. It's all down to Connor and Batham. Both of these players very capable of making things happen. But with how little HP they've got, it's not looking like a great situation.
Connor, nice use of the Deagle there. The timing as he just taps away. And that second shot will take down T-Sack. Wanted to find the follow-up frag as well on towards Robin, but he's scurried out of there. But look at this man, the sneaky snake he is, coming from behind. Jacob will take down Connor. Dudley will drop Batham. And there you have it. Another round swiped up by the working men. That is critical as well. They had to try and keep that ball rolling. Didn't really want to lose that one out and put their economy in a horrific state. So great stuff they were able to do so. Now we're into that third and final round, essentially one that they get for free. They've gone for the SMGs as well, so they can just build up an awful lot more cash into this, just rip their way through everyone on the side of Reason, and then bring it hard into that first rifle round to the following one. But let's see, Reason might have some tricks up their sleeve here. Seems like they will actually be going for a door burst. Only the one flash, so basically Weber is going to flash out of main. The rest of them will then burst out of door at that time.
Yeah, and here we go. Squeaky is going to be the call, but Robin is just waiting, and that molly is going to put a real dent in their plans. And just look at Robin mowing through these players. Gets a couple for himself. Going to look for more as well. And gets the wall bang. Robin doing his very best peanut butter impression right now because he is going absolutely nuts.
See what he did there. It's pretty good.
Cheers, mate.
Much like the play that Robin just had, but Reason trapped in this horrific space. Robin just toying with him, but Reason takes him down. I mean, that is a beautiful little tap with that Glock. We'll actually upgrade to the M4 as well. Wants to slip out onto the site, but unfortunately for him, coming in the rear is going to be T-Sack, and he sprays him down.
In the rear with the gear, T-Sack arrives on the scene and finishes that round off. So now 3-0 to the working men, which is a score that you tend to expect. Once that pistol has been won, it's usually a fairly easy couple of rounds and a very convincing buy here for the working men. However, they have been losing a fair few players on each of these rounds, so it's not like they've built up a huge wad of cash to fall back on further on into this game. So if Reason can make this rifle round happen, then they should be in a decent spot and should be able to get a couple on the trot as well.
Weber, but this elevated angle. Seems like they do want to try and take that mid aggression, just peek at the same time from mid and then send Weber over boost to just try and shut things down. This is good as well. They've got one player boosted up on top of Starline, so then basically if anyone goes for that close angle, you're going to catch him out a lot quicker and it'll be good stuff. Keita, he's going to find that first pick on towards Dudley. He was doing this a lot in the previous matchup as well. Dudley will try and go for that information play into main time and time again, so being able to shut him down is critical. Nice stuff at mid as well. They do get that trade as Weber went down, but Batham was on the scene to trade it out. They've got that man advantage. 3 players remaining on the working men, and they are spread thin, Joe.
Certainly are. And 4 members still up for Reason. This is their opportunity to get onto the scoreboard here. Big fat 0 at the top of the screen is going to be playing on their mind, and they need to turn that into a 1. They want to get to the other side of the binary system. But T-Sack is going to find himself in a duel against Keita and Batham, but Batham just about survives on 10 HP, gets the headshot onto T-Sack and turns it into a 3 versus 2. So long as they can consistently get these trades, Reason will be just about okay, but Jacob arrives on the scene and just gets beheaded by Connor.
Yeah, absolutely brutal stuff on display from Connor there, very juicy indeed. And here comes Fry, the last man remaining for the side. Wants to try and turn this round 4 into a win for his team. Seeming like he is actually just going to go for it, has the confidence, and definitely is one of those really talented players that can pull things out of the bag. The nade goes in. Unfortunately for him, won't actually take out the low player in Batham. Molotov use as well, won't be able to burn him to a crisp just yet. They have these angles covered. Realise it's probably against his best interest to try and go for that, so we'll just back off, hold on to his M4 and save it.
Certainly will, and right, as you rightly said, gonna cling on to that weapon. Doesn't want to just throw $3,000 and a bit to the wind. Wants to try and take that on into this next round, as Reason do finally get the first round on the board for themselves. And Connor still going to be clinging onto that AWP as well, so that's going to be a very nice weapon to take on into this round, and actually passes it over to Weber. So Weber deciding that he's going to be the AWPer for the team on this map, and this is something we were talking about earlier. Reason very happy to swap roles, very happy to change up who's going to be doing what.
Yeah, obviously you've got a lot of competent AWPers in that side, so you can switch it up depending on spawns or depending on who feels a little bit more on point at that time. So Weber is going to be the man to don it, as you mentioned. Let's see if he can find anything here towards mid.
Doesn't look like it's going to be the case to kick things off. Robin on the other side. Interesting that Robin actually going to be the one with the AWP. Usually that's Dudley. So strange that they've decided to swap that one up. I wonder whether that's down to Dudley just not feeling up to it right now. Maybe just a bit of fatigue getting to him perhaps. Or maybe just Robin feeling like it's his turn to step up. But over towards this A site, we've got Dudley here with the 5-7. And I believe earlier on today we saw Dudley on this site with a 5-7 just tearing up United Estonia.
Yeah,
Robin.
That close angle as well is going to be so critical.
Yeah, does manage to find one onto Weber, which is a very important kill because that was the AWPer of Reason. Reason goes down as well. And now suddenly just 3 terrorists remaining. This has gone from a very convincing round to a little bit of a dire situation for Reason.
Nice boost coming out. Good teamwork on display here as Robin has that covered now. We'll be able to watch towards main, but little do they know there is something afoot towards mid. Connor shuts down T-Sack immediately as soon as he catches sight of him. Robin trying to reposition, aware that Short could be under onslaught shortly. Let's wait and see how this one is going to unfold. Biding the time for now. They can progress through vents and hit that B-bomb site if they want to try and do so. There is 2 men there. And it is going to be a bit risky, Joe. They give themselves away a little bit as they use that Molotov to try and force anyone playing at the back of Checkers out of sight. Robin actually takes down Keaton, meanwhile, towards the A-bomb site. And Jacob, P90 in hand. We know how devastating this weapon can be. All he has to do is hold down the trigger, but unfortunately for him, couldn't quite find Connor. Barely works out where he is. Has to switch out to his secondary and will take him down. And his teammates cleans up Batham. Defuse will come in, and they immediately bounce back, stopping Reason Gaming straight away.
Connor was the definition of confused right there as he was getting sprayed out through the smoke, trying to work out where the bullets were coming from, but unfortunately looks the wrong way and will get finished off. But even if he had turned around and managed to get that kill, it would have been a very, very difficult round to win out because the CTs closed in so quickly. And just look at this from Connor right here. He's just not sure where that last player is and does get shut down. But Reason, unfortunately, going to have to fall back to yet another Tech 9 bye. We've seen this so many times across the course of today, but they're looking like A site is going to be where they're headed. Robin and Dudley now, both with the snipers in hands. We'll see what they're going to be able to do for their squad.
Yeah. Look at the utility as well here over on Reason. You can see that this is going to be that all-out A take. They don't actually have a Molotov out here, but they have those 2 smokes. One of those is going to go down to try and block off Short. The other one will be utilised as well, so they can try and block off that area by trucks. They can cross onto the site, get that bomb planted, back off into after plants, and really that's the main focus. You get that bomb down and see how it goes from there. Nice Molotov from T-Sack. This will try and force them to wait a little bit before they get the bomb down. And look at this as well, playing around the smoke absolutely gloriously here. Weber bounces past him like an acrobat, gets taken down. He's getting run back when Dudley comes into the site. Not only does he get 1, he gets 2 with a collateral. T-Sack keeps on fighting as well, and there's Robin to end it as he destroys Connor.
We've spoken about Dudley so many times today, and he is just devastating the lineup of Reason. Another collateral. I think it was him. In fact, no, it was Keita that got the collateral earlier on today. But Dudley, just take a look at this shot coming out from him as he peeks around the corner. They line up perfectly. One of them through the head, one of them through the chest, and just makes it look easy. The working men get yet another round on the board. 5-1 is now the score. And a force fight has to come out from the terrorists of Reason. But Connor, again, this rifler just so consistent. Always landing these opening kills. Always managing to hit his shots. And doing some good stuff to start this round off. But is it going to be enough with these orbs still in play?
Yeah. This is what I love as well, Connor, as we were saying, someone that was so consistent online, doing it on LAN, which is fantastic to see. And there he is, keeping that pain train rolling as he just steamrolls through everyone in front of him. Keita as well, sending Fried off towards the burn ward. T-Sack pops out of vent. Will claim on towards Weber, but can he do anything else here? Unfortunately not. Keita tapping over that tech as fast as his fingers will go. Drops him down to an early grave. And Dudley, as confident as he's been, will opt to just back off, hold on to the AWP, and not do anything crazy into this one. No reason to just throw that weapon and armor, the utility he has, into the wind, keep it for another day, and just roll on into the next round.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't say I'm all too surprised about that decision, especially when you take a look at the money that they have on the side of the working men. It's, you know, they're all right. They've got a bit of bank to work with, but it's not so convincing that you can just be throwing AWPs away. It's not like... it's not a situation that you want to be just getting rid of your cash. So Dudley rightly just going to be holding onto that rifle, and they are hunting for him a little bit, but he will be able to get away with this one and takes that AWP on into this round. And he's going to hold on to that one, not giving it to Robin this time, deciding... Oh, I say that. No, he is. No, never mind. He was just buying a rifle for someone else. I'm losing my mind here. But Jacob actually going to pick up an AWP as well. So double AWP coming out from the working men. They're up against this full rifle buy, and as full of a buy as you can get here for Reason, aside from the AWPs. And with how aggressive they've been playing in this map, it makes absolute sense that they are just going to go for those rifles.
Yeah, you're correct indeed. And this is the thing as well. Reason, they found that little bit of success towards the B bomb site. They're going to try and hit it again. Nice nade from Fry. That's really interesting going over. Actually transfers a little bit of damage on towards Keita. Good initiative. They're aware that they could have been able to take that sunroom control early. Unfortunately for him, takes a small amount of damage from the Molotov. If they don't check, back and check as well. Jacob could be such a huge critical factor into the round.
Certainly could. Batham starts things off, though, onto Fry with a nice little headshot. Dudley's on the wrong side of the map, but Weber is going to be able to do some serious damage, and Reason finishing off one of those kills. And now, once more, we see these players of the working men just deciding this is not worth our time and effort right now. We need to hold on to these weapons, and we need to back away. So again, Reason convincingly taking this B site. This is a site that they can keep on coming back to and finding these rounds. And that's 2 on the trot. Working men, they do manage to take these weapons on through, but Reason Gaming, you can hear them whooping on in the background, are going to have to look for a couple of exit frags. Dudley doesn't actually find his first shot, though, but it's going to be all about T-Sack finding a couple. Gets himself an AK as well. And 2 versus 2 at the end of the round, but Reason Gaming get another one on the board, and they're starting to build up a bit of a bank. You know, I was going to say how they hadn't been losing players. Unfortunately, the hunt at the end there did cause them a little bit of a difficulty, but still, multiple players on, you know, $5,000, $6,000 remaining towards, well, after this buys come out. And if they can keep this up, they're already catching up to the working men. It's starting to look pretty nice for them.
Like this as well. Dudley returning to that previous playstyle he had, where he would sort of just roam with the AWP, try and find those opening frags to make the rest of his team's lives so much easier. Unfortunately for him, couldn't quite land the opener, but he has got a little bit of information to work with, and he's close by if this push does unfold towards that B-bomb site. I think Jacob's position as well there could actually catch him off guard if they don't clear this angle, as he is just lying in wait. They begin to fall ground. They will clear it immediately. Dudley has done his job, though. Shuts down Connor, so that is going to be a bit of a trade. Brings it back into 4 versus 4. Unfortunately for him, he receives a bullet straight in between the eyes, and somehow Batham, as he bounces through the air like an acrobat, will be able to shut down Fry. He really should have been killed at that point, but gets away with just 6 HP, leaving T-Sack in a 1v4. A round he has no real stake in, most likely will just back off, and that's going to be the 4th round for Reason now. Yeah,
I've got to say, that was not a round that should have happened that way. That should have been so much closer than it was, and the working men just being punished for, honestly, sloppy play in that one. And T-Sack, there's no way that he can go for this one. And again, we see a member of the working men just kind of slinking away towards the end of the round, holding on to what weaponry he can clutch. 4 members, again, from Reason, surviving. We keep on seeing this. They win the round convincingly, but also they don't die. They don't have to go for the full rebuys, and it means that moving on later on into this game, they are going to have a little bit of a buffer to play with. And it means that they're going to be in a much safer position should working men manage to get a couple of rounds on the board.
Yeah, You're very true indeed. And it's good as well because I feel like that round where sort of Batham got away with that sort of cheeky secondary kill, that might give him a little bit more sort of vigor, just wake him up a little bit, get that entire squad back on their toes. That's what we need. We can hear a little bit of cheers coming from them. And this is good because it seems like they were kind of down in the dumps when we got into sort of the working men really dominating early on into Cash. They need to keep this going. They're a side that has that passion and they are definitely fueled by it, Joe. And this is definitely the time to bring your A game. You need to bring every last fibre that you've got inside you for this grand final. They want to be crowned the champions, and you can tell that by these rounds. It's a close game, much like this entire series, and this round will be another telltale sign of how it's going to start to unfold. A slow one so far. They haven't actually gone for the push just yet, just holding out. 1 minute and 20 still left on the clock. They don't have to charge in, and this is good as well. No reason to rush in headstrong. I like the fact Reason haven't got a little bit overzealous and started to throw things away at all. It's been great use of utility as well, which has been really nice. This has actually halted a lot of the walk-in men's plays because they've been forced out of those good power positions by nice utility. And talking that, here who comes in the smokes, zoning out the CTs.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Fry's going to start this one off, but he gets full blinded, and Batham, in fact, is going to be the first one, but T-Sac trades it straight on back, so 4 versus 4, but Weber comes in, Reason as well, and suddenly there's only 2 CTs remaining. Dudley and T-Sac on the retake here, but they're against 3 people. This is looking much more doable than a lot of the rounds that we have been seeing. T-Sac has actually managed to find himself on a flank, but Keita is not going to allow that to happen, and now Dudley, he's going to go for this one anyway. He's done with just holding on to these rifles. But Weber says, you know what, if you're done holding on to rifles, then you can drop that one to the ground, and he takes the final kill. 5-5 is the score. Reason Gaming have managed to get back into this match, and, you know, it's been pretty back and forth, but we had a couple of little sprees. You know, the working men started off with 3 rounds, and then it went back and forth just a tiny bit, but now 4 rounds on the trot for Reason Gaming. That means the loss bonus is starting to stack up just a bit for the working men. If they can get anything in this round, then they're going to be in a very comfortable position next time.
Here's the thing as well, they've gone for the gamble. This is that potential play that they can do. This can be a late round retake, as obviously B's been under onslaught time and time again. Even if they do just wander in, go off the back, if they realise there's a welcome mat on B, it's their site, they can have it, they get that bomb planted. They haven't invested that heavily on the side of the working men, so they can retake together, just stay as a 5, and it's going to make their lives so much easier than just getting obliterated on the entries off the back of Reason. But still, all of that utility being used, but to no avail, and we'll see this late round retake. Reason won't have much to help them in trying to force out the opposition, Joe.
Yeah, and the amount of utility Reason used to get onto this site despite nobody being there, it's kind of one of those situations where you can't just assume nobody's there. Yeah. You have to use that utility. You have to play as if they're all there, but Connor is not having any of it. Finally gets taken down there by Jacob, but does a good amount of work for his team before it happens. Jacob has found himself an AK to work with, and I fully expect to see him just try and take that into the next round. But Robin, with this Desert Eagle, will be looking for an exit frag if one happens to tottle his way. But I don't know if he's going to be able to find anyone. I think they're all just going to head over towards T-spawn. So Jacob actually nearly found one there. Decided not to go for the shot, though. And in fact, it is Robin that finds one in the end, over towards mid. Nice little bit of communication there. Jacob spots him going down mid, says to his teammate, look, Robin, there's one coming your way. Make sure you put one in his skull.
Yeah. And look at that cash as well, on Reason. This is fantastic. They've got enough of a buffer here that even if out of nowhere the working men start to bounce back, they will be able to get these fires out. Connor as well, so very crisp. When it came down to it, this is when we needed Connor to start shining and really displaying that raw talent he has, and he's definitely doing the damage.
He certainly is. And Robin right up at the top of the scoreboard right now. 13 kills, and we've been saying how he is one of these players, just like Weber, that can step up. But Weber really nowhere to be seen on this map so far. So Robin taking the advantage here. T-Sac as well stepping up to that plinth. Here we go. Rifle buy coming out from both of these teams. The working men, they've got to make this happen now. They need to start to use this loss bonus, not just to get more rounds in, but also to actually start to win some. Reason, though, finds the first kill with that silent M4. And now Fry completely flashed. He can't get onto these Ts. He can't find anyone, and it's going to be Batham taking him out through smoke. 2 CTs remaining. And again, I feel like I've said this a million times now. The working men just going to have to hold onto these weapons.
And this is the thing as well. Reason sort of constant bombardment of that B bomb site. There's been no real changes into their strategy. The same smokes, the same tactical play that goes over just to force everyone out of position. They barrage their way in off the back of their own confidence, their reliability in their own personal skill to just take the site off the back of that. And it is looking fantastic. The only sort of silver lining, Dudley obviously able to get that frag on towards Connor. If you can get any more, just try and force them to drain a little bit of their economy down, because it is vastly inflated. Reason have a ridiculous amount of money to keep spending, so they need to do something.
Yeah, Dudley just looking for consolation prizes at this point, searching for those exit frags. I don't think he's going to find anyone more. Weber is actually going to peek this. He's just trying to bait out the shot, I think. But oh, Weber gets shut down. And actually, that's really bad for a reason. They had 4 players with rifles. In fact, no, they had 5 players with rifles when they planted that bomb. Went hunting. This is the second time that Dudley's punished them for that. Dudley got 2 for himself, and I think it was it Jacob that was alive with him? I'm not 100% sure who the other player was, but regardless, 3 of those rifles got shut down. Reason, not too worried about it. They've still got multiple members on $10,000, so they're not too stressed about the situation. They're quite happy to go for those rebuys, but I think maybe just deciding that it was worth the risk if they could shut down the economy of the working men even more. But Robin goes down, and that's a bad situation for DWM, since Robin right now has been their absolute star player.
Yeah, this is a little bit of an issue as well, because it's great. There was that slight sort of hint of initiative. They've been trying to spice it up, because still, it's the same story. The big aggression coming out. They're basically sort of doing... They're forcing them to either adapt or die. They've been doing this over and over again. It's that definition of insanity, you know. There's been no changes from the working men. They're still playing this standard setup because they don't want to risk going for that full-on B stack, and that's when they defer and just go for the A site and they lose around off the back of that. But Reason, they're going to keep doing this, Joe. They have no reason to stop right now because the working men, they can't hold them back. Finally, this might be the time they can, though.
Yeah, Dudley does manage to find that opener, and, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but this might be the round where it finally does break. And the working men doing a fantastic job. Fry finds another one. Connor, the last man remaining, already tagged the CZ, comes out. Looking for the long-range kill there. It's Dudley just going to chill up here with the AWP. And in fact, it is going to be T-Sack finishing off Connor to end the round. And the working men, they've actually finally got another round on the board. It's felt like a long time since they actually managed to achieve that. In fact, it was 6 rounds in a row for Reason Gaming. Nice little replay here of Dudley doing some serious work for his team. As Fry as well chiming in with one. But now the working men. This is a dire situation for them because it was an easy rebuy for Reason Gaming. They've only got 1 player that doesn't have a rifle. But if the working men lose this, if they lose that loss bonus that they had, although I say this, there's only 2 rounds left in the half, so shouldn't be the end of the world either way. It's going to still be, a worst case scenario, a 9-6 half. So the working men, you know, they can still work with that. They can still make things happen in the second half of the game.
Yeah, and this is what we were saying. It seems like both of these sort of teams as well, they just wanted to get that CT half out of the way if possible. They are definitely explosive on their T halves and can do damage, but the working men seem quite timid right now. There hasn't been that much flamboyant play. Previously, we always saw Dudley and Robin as being those 2 sort of players that would go for these very aggressive faces, that'd be switching it up constantly, but it's been quite standardized. They've been put in a box by Reason, Joe.
Certainly have. Peter going to check mid. He's obviously the one with the Tech 9, so it makes sense for him to go first and search for that information. Not 100% sure about him holding the bomb, though, as he peeks mid first, because if he had just been shut down there, it would have been not a very good situation as Reason going to be pushing in along with his team, but a Molly going to actually hold him back. And Fry here on the site. T-Sack finds one onto Batham. Fry gets another one onto Connor. Suddenly this push is starting to get shut down, but Keita answers. Reason is going to drop as well, and now 2 players remaining for this terrorist side. Reason, they need to get this bomb down. It's going to be crucial for them, and Keita is going to be able to do just that. Weber is still alive, and we need to see him step up. He's not been the player we've been expecting in this one. Finally gets 1 kill, though, as Keita is going to get one onto T-Sack, and suddenly Jacob finds himself alone. Weber steps up, gets the headshot, and you can hear the clapping downstairs. You can hear that what little of a crowd there is here. You know, +1s from the players and that. They're definitely behind Reason. They're wanting this red squad to push on forwards.
And this is, I think, that sort of consensus as well. They want, you know, everyone to sort of step up, play to that name. They want to play as Reason Gaming. They are Reason Gaming. That brand, that sort of ideology behind it. They need to bring it up and do that. And they're finally starting to display that level of skill. This is what we wanted, that last-ditch effort. It seemed like when their heads had dropped, all of a sudden, they've come back up. And that is a beautiful way to kick this round off as well. Jacob, he's gone for the peak. He should have been able to at least find that frag on towards Keita. But Keita is having none of it. Tears him down, absolutely obliterates him. And this round is now heavily in their favor. If they can remove Fry here, this will be a fairly easy standard B-take once again, and I believe Reason should be able to shut this down.
Yeah, we've seen this 1,000 times before in this singular map. Fry is well aware of the situation, and he's going to try and stop this in its tracks. A nice little molly is going to delay everything. And a lot of utility was just used there by Reason, so a very, very nice grenade is just going to kind of waste a lot of their cash. But here they go. The push is going to come on in. Fry finds one for himself, but Keita answers, and Reason chimes in as well. That is going to be a convincing B-take once more, and the CTs have to rotate on in, looking for the wall bang there, but TSAC isn't going to be able to find anything on that one. Connor checking out Vent, making sure that nobody can rotate through that middle section of the map. And now it's all down to TSAC and Dudley, but I say that, it's only down to TSAC at this stage.
Yeah, the Lone Ranger trapped all on his own. Everything around him, his pot shots going off, making him paranoid. He's very anxious right now. You can see terrified to try and go for that initial peek. Will find one, but the thing he finds is a bullet straight into his cranium off the back of Weber's AK-47. And that's going to be a 6-9 half, as you said. Domination by Reason on their T half there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is a scary thing for the working men if Reason can win this pistol. If they do take the pistol, it will be a very nerve-wracking situation for the working men because, you know, when you get on that CT side, if you get that economic advantage, if you can kind of bolster down, hunker in, it's very difficult for those teams to really make anything happen. The working men, you know, had a very convincing start to the game. It definitely felt like this was going to be their map to win. But unfortunately for them, Reason have shut that down and they are well on their way towards a strong victory. That little collateral as well coming out from Dudley, that was just beautiful.
And this is the thing as well, that's what shows the pace of the game. We saw this really great flair from everyone on the side of the working men for the first 5 rounds, and then that was it. Reason started bombarding B.
I think this is the thing as well, was while it was kind of a much more, I think the combat was very much chaotic.
Yeah.
And when it was like that, the working men were taking the advantage. But Reason Gaming, they seem to manage to have brought some order to the situation, kind of got control of the situation essentially. And once it was a little bit more organized, they were getting these set pieces down on B and just pretty much rinse, repeating the same strategy. Once they'd got that situation down, what they were comfortable in, they were just rolling rounds after rounds.
But this is the thing, Joe. We saw that B play, you know, constantly, without fail, round after round for a good 6 or so rounds. And it's the fact they were able to do it almost without fail every time. There was only sort of one round where they were actually punished for this. And that is sort of a common thing. I mean, obviously, this is one of those things. If you have a strategy that works and your opponent can't counter it, you keep hitting that weak point. You focus on that weak point over and over again until you either force them to change their play style or be able to shut you down. And they planted that seed of doubt in their mind so many times as well. We saw it where after the 3rd round of consistent B play, the working men went for the A stack. But once again, it was that B play. They had a free sight. And it really just sort of messed with them, put them in this horrible situation. So now, coming in to their T half, this is where they've got a little bit more breathing room. They can be a bit more organic, but they can do what they do best on the working men. But Joe, can they do it good enough?
It's going to be the question, and this pistol is going to be incredibly important for them. Nobody going for the Tech 9 armor play, but Jacob is going to get tagged out incredibly low. But look at this from Batham, 2 kills already. Reason found one as well. And the working men, this is dire straits. They needed to win this pistol, and it's just not worked out. Keita here still going to be holding that angle. It's not over just yet. Jacob down to 3. Robin is still on the scene, and we know how much of an influential player Robin can be. But in the 2 versus 5, it certainly doesn't look great for them. And this is very, very bad news for any working men fans watching right now.
Yeah, that is true indeed. A horrific spot to be in. Obviously one of those star players on the side, Robin. He's been causing so much havoc throughout the first half, but basically all on his lonesome as Jacob's free HP. He's essentially dead right now. He really can't try and help him. So Robin has to do all of this on his own, and I wouldn't be surprised here if they fell fairly soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, let's just remind ourselves as well that this is the grand final, third map. This is all or nothing right now for these players. They're battling for the trophy, they're battling for the bragging rights, they're battling for the title of the best team in the UK. But it's going to be Weber just doming 2 players straight away. It's going to be Reason with a 10th round on the board, but most importantly, with that pistol round behind them, they can go for these SMGs, they can go for a couple of rifles, and really make the working men hurt in this second round and a half.
Yeah, this is going to be quite damaging. The only thing is, if we see this as well with the working men, with what they've gone for, the Tech 9 sort of armor, they do just want to go for that fast play. They have a flashbang to work, they have the smoke as well, so they can smoke off short, flashbang out, and it's going to be sort of a mini door burst here with those 2 players then peeking late from main. This is great as well, but Reason. SMGs, they've got a fair bit of distance between them. They don't want to risk just getting obliterated by these weapons in close range. They'll finally realize that this is going to be the full-on A play. Regroup, attempt to retake together. If they play this calm and collective, Joe, they should be able to rip through them. Reason just needs to keep their cool.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And Weber going to be on the scene here. 5 versus 5 still. Nobody actually gone down yet in this round, but the bomb has been planted over towards this A site. And the retake should be convincing here. The Reason have to make this one happen for themselves, but working men, they've got themselves in a good position. Dudley getting tagged out incredibly low, and it's a fairly even trade so far, but the CTs are pushing on in, and that is just a whitewash right there as they all get wiped out. Robin trying to do what he can, but he's only got a P250. The bomb is going to be defused, and Keita, just to add insult to injury, is going to finish off that Swedish player. And now 11 rounds on the board. Reason Gaming are looking to push this one home. That was the risky round. This is the easy round for them. They know that there's going to be no real purchases coming out from the working men. Robin actually going to go for a Tech 9 armor buy, as well as a couple of grenades, but the rest of the team just rocking with the P250s.
Yeah, and this is not the situation you want to be in when your opponent is absolutely damaging you so heavily. No real utility. Just Robin. He's going to be the man to flash out so everyone can once again go for this fast play towards A site. No one's there to contest close by apart from Weber in that elevated angle, doing so much damage as he tears through everyone with a thunderous amount of bullets, charging out of that MP7 to just rip through everyone in the close vicinity. Dudley will eventually best him, but the trade comes in from Connor. And now it's a 4 versus 2.
It certainly is, Robin. That recent headshot is going to be feeling pumped on this one. 2 Ts remaining. They've got those pistols. Robin does get a headshot, but it doesn't quite finish that player, and now it's all down to Jake and finds one of them. There's another member down to just 10 HP. He can make this happen if he's on target with this P250. They're waiting for him, though, and Batham with the aim punch will be able to finish that one off. The P90 comes into play. It's a close one, but the bomb is defused, and Reason rack up yet another point for themselves. They're double the score right now of the working men. This is dire straits, and this is quite possibly the most important round of the tournament for the working men. If they can't get this rifle round on the board, it might just be curtains.
Yeah, this is going to be devastating. I mean, obviously right now they've got a little bit of a loss bonus going for them off the back of those 3 rounds, so they will begin to start build up cash, but it's just going to be awkward. They don't really have much premium rooms. They can't really even afford to lose this one to try and find themselves some footing into the following round. It has to be do or die, as you're saying. They've got that double up setup, so they have the ability. It's on Dudley and Jacob, obviously. The 2 boys that have done so much damage with these weapons in the past. But something tells me they're just not going to be able to find these openers.
We'll have to wait and see if that is going to be the case. Jacob forced away by that molly over towards Squeaky. And a nice little grenade onto Robin, doing almost 60 damage to him. It's really going to be detrimental to him later on in this round, but the working men not committing to any of these sites just yet. They know that they need to wait until they've got a little bit more information, until maybe they get a pick onto someone before they can commit to anything whatsoever. But Reason are more than happy to just sit here and hold these angles all day long if they need to. With 50 seconds on the clock, the working men have to start to look at what strategy they want to employ, and it looks like the A site is going to be the call for them here. Molotovs
are going to go over. They start to flood their way out onto the site. Keita in this elevated angle doing damage as he rains down bullets from above, but unfortunately for him, T-Sack was able to react. Reason and Connor chime in. Reason with a second frag as well towards Jacob, and it rides all on Dudley now. It was such an important round, and it's going to be such an important round purely for Dudley. That flick so close, but by a hairline wasn't able to land the shot. He scurries out of there, but Joe, 10 seconds left on the clock. The bomb in their control. It's impossible for Dudley. He will hold on to that weapon, it seems, but even then, 13 rounds now secured for Reason Gaming.
That is devastating right there for Dudley, especially when you're in that 1 versus 4. You know it's a bad situation, but you feel like you've got to go for it anyway. Jumps on out, has his opponent blind, but just can't quite connect that shot. And we've talked about it before, the kind of momentum of if you miss that first shot, it's very difficult to just get back on that horse. And immediately after missing that first shot, Dudley's like, okay, I'm leaving it there. I'm going to hold on to the AWP. We'll take this into another round. But Reason now 3 rounds away from taking this third and final map. And if you look at the scoreboard, it's actually very evenly run between these players. It's not just a single man carrying this squad anymore. It is just a solid team effort right here. And Fry hasn't been able to live up to the hype right here. He needs to step up. We need to see this brand new player coming into the fold. If he can step up towards the end of this game, maybe the working men can find their way back in.
That was a fantastic opening tag, by the way. I'm not sure if you saw that when Dudley, straight away through mid, landed that tag on towards Keita, knock him down to 17 HP. That basically could have been a ridiculous opener, but unfortunately for him, just the tag. It will aid them later on into the game, though.
It certainly will, and especially when you've got Tech9s in a couple of your members' hands, that tag actually could make all of the difference in this round. But very cautious of vents at the moment. They're not sure if someone's going to be coming for a flank, but the B site is definitely the site they're going to be going for here. The set piece is about to begin, I feel, as the window is popped out, and Weber is well aware that mollies and all sorts are going to be flying on through any second now. Doesn't have to change his position on this site now. With that AWP, he's not quite going to be able to find his shots. The smoke is very detrimental to his position, but he finds one in the end, finds a second one as well. And Weber stepping up, but does get shut down eventually. The bomb will be dropped, and the working men might just have found themselves around here. Connor is going to be coming onto the site. Keita as well. We saw he was tagged out earlier, and that could be huge here in this 2 versus 3. Trying to get back onto this B site. T-Sack doesn't quite get the shot onto Connor here. Connor actually finding one. Dudley trades it straight back and gets a second one as well. The working men, they find their stride, finally getting around in this second half. It might be a little bit too late though. There's a full bite available for Reason, and working men, it's do or die right now. They have to get a second round here. They have to just keep this rolling.
Yeah, that was that opening tag as well. It was very nice. A fantastic round, just individual skill from so many AWPers. Weber down to the wire with him as well. 2 great flick shots, and then Dudley to finish it off. Nice stuff to see Dudley still popping off with this AWP. He needs to do so to try and get his team back into it. And the thing is, as you were saying though, the only problem is Reason Gaming, they have got a buyout, but it is scrappy in some places as they were losing so many members per round that the cash has dwindled a bit. They're trying to do damage here, but it can't quite pull through. They are getting picked off. Keita goes down, Batham follows suit. It's a 3 versus 5, a few measly seconds into the round.
It certainly is, and now Reason kind of scattering with their tails between their legs, and the bomb will go down over towards this B site, and there's no one that's going to be able to do anything about this situation. All 3 CTs going to be hanging about over towards Squeaky, just holding on to these weapons. And this is definitely a favourite spot on this map for just about all players. If you want to hold a weapon, you go hang out in Squeaky, because there's so many close angles, so many corners that you can hide out on, and Weber going to prove that as he just holds that angle with the AWP, and will be able to punish any players that want to try and finish him off.
This is vital as well. They really cannot afford to lose these weapons on that side of Reason Gaming. They need to try and hold on to all 3 of these into the following round, or it is going to be a little bit awkward. Their cash really not too fantastic at all. Obviously, they have already lost that 1 round, so this will be the following link-up round, so their lose bonus won't be great either. They have to hold on to all 3 of these, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely do. I was going to say, Fry needs to be a little bit careful on his positioning here, because he's only on 7 HP. If that bomb tags him, he would have gone down, but just get out of there before it actually explodes. And, you know, the working men, they've managed to link a couple of rounds together here. There's not much money now for Reason Gaming, and, you know, Reason, they're close to the victory. They can smell that finish line. But the working men are clawing at their ankles. They're trying to get back into this series. And they're only 5 rounds behind. This is not an impossible feat anymore. This is starting to become a reality. If the working men can continue to keep this up, if they can keep landing these shots, it's going to be all about Dudley with this AWP here in this round. We'll see if he can make things happen. Connor jumping up onto the boxes here. With Toxic Reason with the counter boost. Might be able to punish the working men pretty heavily. Doesn't know quite who is about. But if he does decide to go for that peek, it could be huge. Robin getting the first one, and that's going to be Reason answering onto Jacob. So straight 1-for-1 trade, but T-Sac finds a second one for himself, and now certainly an advantage towards the working men.
Been able to get that bomb planted as well, can fall back into these more advantageous positions. Now, Reason, they invested everything they had into this round, and it's getting a bit dicey. Obviously, only outnumbered by 1 man, but this retake is going to be quite hard. Utility is starting to dwindle down as well. They have that all-important kit mind, but let's see what they're going to opt to go for. Yeah, the safe play. They will back off. Don't want to risk losing these weapons, as they forced up whatever they could into that round to try and win it. When it gets into that situation where you are outnumbered, it's going to be a very hard retake. It's not worth running the risk of losing those weapons and into the following round having to go for that full eco and just lose another one.
Absolutely. I mean, this is some of the safest Counter-Strike we've seen all season. Like, both of these teams, the second that they realize that this isn't a round that favors us anymore, they don't want to lose these weapons. They don't want to allow these situations to snowball out of control, so they back away. And we've seen that time and time again on this map. Usually from the CTs as well. But the working men, again, with so much gear to work with in this one, and Keita only with the CZ. A good amount of utility, though, coming out from Reason, so they're certainly not out of this round just yet. Jacob, interestingly, going to be pushing over towards that B site all on his own, maybe just looking for an early pick, but definitely feels like A is going to be where the working men look to execute on.
Slow stuff right now. Everyone just terrified, a little bit anxious, Joe, as it really is those final few pushes for either of these sides to try and see if they can take it through. Connor absolutely obliterated, took so much damage early on. The nade's going to finish him on, knocking him out of the server. And here comes Robin as well, the powerhouse he is, trying to find that frag tapping down, but of course he can't quite do it. Reason will best him, brings it back into an equal situation, but unfortunately they are a little bit outgunned. Keita will get taken down. Dudley, another one as well, on towards Bait from Al. Oh my God, through the smoke, Dudley destroying everyone. This man is an absolute god.
Dudley has just been going insane in this map. 3 kills, 1 of them through smoke. Earlier on with the collateral, Dudley is not going down without a fight. He is making sure that the working men are here to stay, and they are not going to go out without a reason. But their opponents certainly still trying to win out this one. Weber is going to be able to find himself a nice little AWP shot. Needs to be careful on how much he peeks, and actually going to be punished for that when Jacob finishes him off in the end, and they will be able to grab that AWP to take through into this round. Just take a look at this play coming out from Dudley. I want to see it all again. Gets the first kill. Second one in the smoke. Just, oh, well, that was the third one actually of the clip, but just insane stuff coming out from Dudley.
An absolute fantastic flurry of kills there. That hat trick with the final one through the smoke as well. Very awkward shots to actually land. And this is it. When it gets to this point, round 24, if there's any time where you need to use that final bit of energy you've got and really do as best you can, this is definitely it.
Yeah, I think this is the moment for these two teams, and I can't say I'm massively surprised at the concept of a tactical pause coming through here. 10-13 is the scoreline. This still could go either way, because while the working men are 3 rounds down, they definitely have the advantage in terms of that cash dollar to work with. And they can easily close up this scoreline at this point. And you can see Reason looking a little bit concerned at this point. It felt very comfortable for them earlier on. You could see smiles on their faces when we got to the halftime point, but you can see Weber there clearly a little bit stressed out about this whole situation, trying to talk his team through what he wants to happen.
Yeah, gauging opinions, obviously, trying to bounce some ideas together and work out what exactly is going wrong. I mean, the thing is, they haven't had an official proper full buy in quite a few rounds now. They've been going for that force continuously. They have had a lot of utility, but every time it's been one or two players, either with a CZ or a FAMAS here and there, and those two weapons you don't have that aren't those official rifles, or even that potential to just go for the AWP play if need be, has been the hindrance. They haven't had their full team to maximum capacity. They can't fire from all cylinders. Weber has been so on point with the AWP into this second half. He doesn't have the cash to get one out at any time. They haven't had that rifle on Keita when he has been just doming people across the board, and that's what they need. So the smart play, obviously, they're going to take that step back. They still have that 3-round buffer. Take that step back, let their economy start to recuperate, and then come in hard and really try and shut it down in the final few moments.
Yeah, they absolutely need to on this one, and 3 rounds is the difference as we kick this game off once more. The pause has ended, and the working men look like they're wanting to head towards this A site once more. Definitely a difference between these two teams in what site they prefer to actually go for the take on. We saw the B site continuously being attacked by Reason, but the A site definitely the preference right now for the working men. A nice little volley is going to force Weber out of his position here. The CZ is not going to be enough as T-Sac opens this round up with a wall bang. And that's Reason dropping as well. Suddenly these CTs don't look so strong. It's Connor with the Deagle trying to answer for the crimes of his opponents right here. Trying to get a little bit of revenge onto these players. Gets a couple of shots through the smoke. 2 players incredibly low for the working men, but he just can't finish off these kills. The smoke being so detrimental to his aim. And now the 3 CTs with just pistols to work with have to try and get this retake, but it's just not happening as Keita, suddenly the last man. He's not going to be able to make this happen with just a pistol. T-Sac finishes the round, and the working men get another round under their belts, and that now is 5 in a row for them.
This is what they needed. They just needed that final bit of confidence, but it has paid off. This is what we were talking about. Reason they had that buffer, they had the breathing room to finally make the smart play. Allow the working men to have 1 round essentially for free, and now go for that buy. Weber back on the AWP, full utility. They have the kits, but the best thing is everyone with a rifle. Keita back with the rifle in his hands. Joe, it needs to be now though. They have to use these weapons, and they have to stop the working men.
We'll see if they're going to have what it takes in this one, because Reason, you know, it's felt like a very convincing first half of the game for them. And it was looking fantastic to start off the second half as well. It felt like they might just be able to run away with the game, but the working men have well and truly put a stop to that. Here in the grand final, the 3rd map between these two teams in this best of 3. Certainly feeling like the working men are back on their stride. And here we go, Reason in a duel, and he will find the headshot. That's always going to be the advantage when you're holding that angle, and takes the head off of Robin. And now suddenly the working men not feeling as confident about this B push now that they don't have that player flanking in from vents. And Reason actually using that flash just to get a little bit of information. They know exactly where Fry is now. Jacob actually going to be pushing up mid just to make sure that his teammate has a little bit of help.
Both teams obviously so timid right now as they don't want to make another mistake. Robin being taken down is quite critical. Reason actually takes a fair bit of Molotov damage. He might barely be able to escape with his life, but he walks straight into the AWP of Dudley. 4 versus 4. Aggression towards that B-bomb site. Keita is close by, playing by headshot. He will pop out. Unfortunately, can't quite land the frag. Didn't have the composure. His teammate as well, Batham, claimed 1. But that's all he's going to get before he's put in an early grave. Webb arrives on the scene, AWP in hand. 10 seconds. Needs to do some damage here. He can't quite check that angle. Connor will shut down Dudley, though. And this could be the tightest 2 versus 2 we have seen so far, Joe.
Yeah, we've got to see these CTs step up. I've said it time and time again. Weber has not been the player we've been seeing before. Connor goes down, and Weber, it's now or never, my friend. You've got to make it happen. Looks for the wallbang, but decides he just doesn't have time. And this is the first time in the tournament that we've seen Weber anywhere near the bottom of the scoreboard. And he obviously, he's in, you know, he's still going positive, but every single win that we've seen out of Reason today, it's been because Weber's been just absolutely going out of his mind. And unless he can kind of unlock that side of himself again and just go crazy, just find these kill after kill after kill, then unfortunately it's not looking good for Reason.
Obviously, quite a stressful time for the side as well. You can see there's been quite a change of tone for reason. They were the side that was bubbly. You would have thought it would have been the mixed side, the working men, but no. They've been very serious, very switched on. There's been nothing really coming out of them, whereas reason, there's been a lot of passion. There's been that uproar. You can see they wanted this win, and all of a sudden things have started being dragged away from the Dudley. Will claim one as well. Doesn't want to give them any breathing room at all. Shuts down Keita. Can he get the follow-up frag as well? Well, through the smoke, nearly actually connects on towards Connor, but he does barely get away with his life. But that is a good opener, nevertheless.
It certainly is, and the working men very much searching for this equalizer at this stage, and they might just be able to find it after that first catch from Dudley. But Weber, he's still got an AWP in his hands as well. And the FAMASers we've seen across the course of today, across the course of the tournament, have been more than enough to make things happen, and we'll see if that's going to continue to be the case. Robin finds yet another one though, and Connor now on this site all alone with 5 Ts pushing onto him. It's not looking great. He's got to go huge here, but he's not going to be able to as Dudley nails him in the side of the head with a Tech 9. Jacob finds one for himself as well, and suddenly Weber is all alone once more. And again, we see a CT walking away with just a single rifle, trying to hold on to what little cash they can scramble to find. Here we go, the hunt is on though. Weber going to shut down Jacob, punishing that over-aggressive play from that terrorist. I think maybe just needed to be a little bit more cautious about how he wanted to push that one.
I mean, this is the thing, though. It doesn't even matter, Joe, because you look at the difference here. Jacob can feel free to be as aggressive as he likes, because as we've seen with the cash there, they are rich. At this point, they can afford to get the buys out until the end of the game without fail, no matter what happens, whereas reason, it's a constant state of economic peril. They've never had those full buys coming back in. It's only been that one round, and since then, again, it's back to this busted economy. They can never get what they want. They can never go the whole hog. They have to pick and choose between, do we risk now allowing them to take the advantage, force it up and have a terrible buy, or do we just let it happen and then have to come back in the following round? And they are going to try and just play it out, let them have that extra bit of breathing room, but it's such a shame. They're working men. They've won so many rounds in a row. They are looking like an unstoppable force.
They absolutely are, and reason is going to be shut down just to kick this round off. And the working men, as you rightly said, in a fantastic position. Dudley gets his second kill. And Dudley, now that he's got an AWP, now he's got some firepower to work with, has just been absolutely on point once more. And we expect no less from this player at this stage. You know, he wasn't really one of the huge standout players for me during the group stage, but here at playoffs, Dudley has just become this absolute monster when it comes to the sniper rifle. But Robin finding that final kill, turning it into a 14-round half here. Well, that's not quite how it works, is it? But 14 rounds in favor of the working men. Reason, after such a huge advantage, have fallen behind in rounds, but take a look at the buy that they're going to be bringing.
Yeah, this really is going to be that last-ditch effort. It's do or die now, and as you're saying, the double AWP has come out. They finally had cash to work with. Limited utility for Connor, but other than that, it is looking glorious. Probably the best buy they've had in quite some time. Now, unfortunately, Reason will take some early damage, forced out of position. Could be a little bit awkward. He has been able to back off a little bit, but Fry is switched on, aware of his position, and just waiting to try and tap him down. Luckily, though, Weber, he takes the opener, removes Jacob from the game.
And that's going to be crucial here for Reason Gaming. They've had so many rounds where they've lost that initial advantage. They've always been on the back foot, and now on this crucial rifle round, they did start things off right, but unfortunately for them, it is going to be equalised, and the working men once again in a good spot. It's even Stevens here, 4 versus 4, and we need to see a strong push coming out from the working men. If they can take this one, they're looking towards a victory right now. They'll push themselves to match point, but also they'll once again push Reason into that horrible situation of only just being able to cobble together a force buy. Reason, with the double AWP still, they can make this happen if they can connect the shots. But here we go. Still just using a little bit of utility to try and delay things, but 25 seconds left on the clock. Things are going to be kicking off. Weber has been forced away by the molly, though, into a bad situation, but just managed to get away with his life. Batham can't connect the shots, though, and Weber through the smoke trying to make things happen, just going for the no-scopes and None of them are going to connect for now. Connor up in heaven, trying to find a good angle to get a shot off with that open. Weber does end up going down in the end to the AK of Robin. Finds a second one onto Connor as well. And Keita suddenly finds himself alone. It's match point right now for the working men, as Keita is just going to try and hold on to this M4. And this is bad, bad news for this team of Reason. They fought so hard. It's been an epic battle for them. But so far, it's looking like it might just get away from them at the very last minute. It was such a good game from them. But the working men, now I believe this is 9 rounds in a row that they've just managed to win for themselves. That is a huge streak to be pulling out right now. And Reason, they must be so demoralized at this point.
And this is the thing. They have to play for the overtime. Look at that cash. There is nothing left. They're going to have to spend every penny to try and get out whatever buy they can. And it's not a good one. Free Famas is on display. Luckily, Keita was able to recover that AWP. He did scavenge it. But what can they do here, Joe? I mean, this is it. This is Reason's last attempt. If they don't win this round, it is going to be game over.
Absolutely is. The defensive setups once more have been taken potentially for the last time here. This could be the final round of the spring season of the ESL UK Premiership. But Reason, they certainly don't want that to be the case. They are going to be searching for this round. They're going to be squabbling for any single point that they can get at this stage. And the working men, again, taking this very slow approach, not wanting to risk anything whatsoever. They do not want to allow Reason to push this into overtime.
This is the thing. Both of these teams, they're so scared right now, as you're saying. Everyone is anxious. Everyone wants it to be their win. Reason, they need this. Whereas the working men, they're already just power driving their way through. They're just biding their time to return to that form. This B bomb site is going to be under so much aggression. It relies heavily on the key player of Reason, but unfortunately for Batham, he was supposed to be the one to spark it all and try and hold back to take them into overtime, but it's not working out. Everyone's just getting absolutely obliterated. Jacob and T-Sack through everyone that's in front of them. Connor does chime in, but he chimes in for a few seconds before he's ripped out of the scene by Dudley. And there comes Keita. He has that scavenged AWP. Will punish Dudley, but he's still got to deal with 3 more men. The flashbang goes in, he has to try and initiate, but it doesn't happen. Fry takes him down, and there you have it. The working men will be your ESL UK Premiership champions.
Absolutely, and what a way to end it as well. A 10-round streak to finish the game. It was a 9-6 first half in favour of Reason, but all in all, the working men managed to pull it out, and it felt like in that second half, they just got a second win. They managed to get back on top of their game, and round after round, we saw them just connecting those all-important shots, and you can see it on the big screen there. The working men are going to be your ESL UK Spring Season champions, and you know, they were the first seed coming into the playoffs. They were the favourite to take this, and Reason, they gave them one hell of a ride for it, and you can see these players eager to go for their trophy. Robin just wants it for himself at this point, but very well-deserved victory for the working men. You're going to see all of the players stepping up, and you can see absolute relief on their face as well, because that was an incredibly close series.
This is the thing. They were just getting completely battered round after round by Reason, but look at how happy they are. They've done it. They did the unthinkable, Joe. A constant train of damage that they just plowed through. Reason had no answer to it. And it just seems like the working men returns to form.